Hey everyone, I want to thank you for tuning in to one of EPARTRADE's Race Industry Now Tech webinars. If you're a part of the racing industry or you're just passionate about racing tech, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a new episode. Good morning or good afternoon now. It's on the East Coast. Welcome to 2026 Race Industry Now. My name is Brad Gillie, looking forward to hosting here today. Of course, we have Judy Keene and Andrea Brake from EPARTRADE to welcome us in today, and want to thank a few sponsors before we get started. And these are the people that really help things out, and we appreciate them, from Ferrea Racing Components to ARP, Fifth Third Bank, Crower Cams, C-Tech Manufacturing, and Peak. We thank them for their support of Race Industry Now and what we get to do all season long. So, Judy, let me start with you. Happy 2026.
Thank you, Brad. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Excited to have our premier technical webinar today. And we're going to be scheduling all the way through October with some brand new companies, ones you've never heard of before. So I'm excited about that. And also be sure anybody in our audience that gets our newsletter, please forward it to your industry friends so they could sign up as well. And then also sign up for the platform and to see all the technology. So Andrea?
Thank you, Judy. Yes, like Judy said, we're happy to have Creative Racing with us again for the second time. Brett has gotten over his fear of cameras, so he's an old hat at this now. So we're happy to have them back on. They're just a great company, been on the platform a long time. They create some of the best chassis setup and measuring products in the industry, and they're used across a wide range of disciplines in racing. So we're happy to, looking forward to hearing what they have to talk about today. And yeah, go ahead, Brad.
And welcome everyone once again. And thank you so much for joining us here. The great thing about the way we're kicking off this season of Race Industry Now, it doesn't matter if you go in circles, if you turn left and right, if you go in a straight line, whether you're on asphalt, dirt, you're drifting, or something else. We have something for you here today, which is great. The title of our webinar, Winning Chassis Setups for Any Type of Race Car by Creative Racing Products. And we've got a great panel featuring Brett Barker, co-founder and chief engineer of Creative Racing Products, Charles Lewandoski, the founder of ChaLew Performance Products, and we were going to have Ryan Stone, a multi-time winner, Whelen Modified winning crew chief, with us here today. Unfortunately, he had something come up last minute and he is not able to join us, but that's okay because we've got a lot of great things that we're going to cover. I do want to remind you that as always with Race Industry Now, if you have a question at any point during our webinar, please feel free to type it into the chat. We would love to talk about the things that you want to talk about and answer any questions that you have either throughout or after the presentation here today. So really want to thank Creative Racing Products. They are just an amazing company focused on precision chassis performance tools that help racers improve setup, consistency, speed, and results. And today what we're talking about are the products and processes behind them, including ride height measuring system, scales, load sticks, and roll-offs that allow teams to elevate race cars without jacks. And these are the kinds of tools that can make a real difference in the shop and at the track. So whether you race on asphalt, dirt, road course, drag strip, like we mentioned, we've got it for you. So want to welcome our panel, Brett Barker, again, the co-founder and chief engineer of Creative Racing Products, and Charles Lewandoski of ChaLew Performance. So Brett, let me turn things over to you. I know you've got a little PowerPoint, a little presentation before we get into some questions and different things like that. Welcome, and thank you for kicking things off with us this year.
Yes, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. Sorry if my voice is a little bit rough. I'm sure I'm like everybody else out there right now. All of our kids are getting sick. All of us are getting sick, but we all still show up at work, right? And it's what we do. So I'm sorry if I sound rough, and I'm sorry if I cough or clear my throat every now and then. But anyway, yeah, do you want me to go right into the show the PowerPoint right now?
I think that would be an excellent way to start, and then we can, sort of play off of that.
Yep, perfect. So I'll just show you some of our products for some of the new people who haven't seen us yet, or you didn't see the other webinar. Let's make sure that you guys can see my screen here. And then as long as you can see it.
We don't have it just yet, but I'll let you know.
Alrighty.
There we go. Now it's coming up.
Okay, so something new that we just released, because we're always making new products. We're always our products are absolutely the best, but if we can make them better, We're never giving up. We're always trying to innovate and make the best stuff we can. We have a lot of ideas on how to help racers be able to set up their cars more easily, more accurate, more repeatable. So one of the new things that we came out with this year that we released at PRI were our load sticks. So again, our load sticks, they're integrated right in with our ride height system. These are all wireless. They're rechargeable. They're the most accurate load sticks on the market. We calibrate these with our multi-point calibration. We're getting these accurate within 1/10 of a pound. You can see that we laser engrave each one with the corner that it works for. You can see the eye-to-eye measurements. We've made these very, very easy to buy. We pretty much have them in already set categories of asphalt circle track, dirt circle track, from modifieds to full-bodied cars. We have a kit for you. We custom make these daily, so it's not a problem. Customers who have a certain eye-to-eye that they want, they can call us, tell us what eye-to-eye they want to achieve. We're machining and making these daily. So that's one of our newest things, are our load sticks here that integrate with the rest of our products. Here they show again, you can see our electronics are bolted right to the load cell. They're rechargeable. These batteries take about 2 to 2.5 hours to charge from dead. They'll last, 600 hours on a full charge. Like I said, we say our accuracy is within 0.2 of a pound. We're calibrating these every day, and we give calibration sheets with every system that we sell. So you'll see these get run through, I think on our load sticks, maybe 5 or 6 different points. Something like maybe 0 pounds, 250, 600, 700, 800, up over 1,000. And you'll actually get a sheet with each one of these, and it'll tell you what it did on the calibration press at each one of those calibration points. So you'll see our accuracy right there. Again, rechargeable batteries. It's a standard USB-C charger. It's what all of our cell phones now are using, Android or iPhone. Again, these seamlessly integrate right with our Hooked Up app. You can have our ride height sensors, 4 ride height sensors, your 4 load sticks, and 4 scale pads, all wireless, all reporting their data to the same screen at the same time. So that's our new load sticks. This here is just a quick shot of our screen for our universal scale app. Any of our scales, you can run them in just their own app. This app also runs some other scale manufacturers as well. So we just show that quickly. This is our ride height kit. This here is showing on the screen. You can see the 4 sensors for each individual corner. Their heights are on the screen. And then right here in the green boxes, these are actually live scale weights.
Brett, if I may interrupt you for one quick second, at least on my screen, yep. I'm still seeing your first page with the load sticks right now. If you're scrolling through, it's not showing up in that way. I just want to make sure that we feature your products in the best way.
Okay. Yeah, no, I am scrolling through, and I don't know why it's not changing. Let's see if we can do this quick like this then. So can you see it now?
I'm still seeing your load sticks unless Charles is seeing something different. I just want to make sure that
I see the load sticks as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I think what it did is it's showing us your PowerPoint and not running the PowerPoint, if that makes sense. Like
understood.
Mode. There we go. Now we switched over.
Okay, then we'll run it this way. So these are the load sticks. They're in their case, like I was explaining. Here you can see the electronics box on the top. That's where we do all of our charging. I've already explained our accuracy and how we recharge and how they seamlessly integrate with our Hooked Up app. You can have everything wireless on the same screen together. This here shows the 4 independent sensors, one for each corner of the car. On the screen, you can see your heights and you can see live weights right here in the green boxes. I'll show again. This is if you don't have our scales. You can manually input your scale weights into these boxes so you can still have all of your data. That's just a detailed shot of the independent sensor. These sensors are incredibly accurate. They have many patents on them for the accuracy. We're accurate within 5/1000ths of an inch. I'd say up to 2 feet. Maybe there's somewhere around 10 or 12 thousandths of an inch. Most of the time when we're calibrating these, I see accuracy within 3/1000ths of an inch. They measure all the way up to 24 inches. They're wireless. They have magnetic bases, so you can stick them right on your chassis. And you get one wireless sensor for each corner of the car. We also, very quickly, we make brackets for our sensors. So in this case, this is a bracket for a Panhard bar assembly. Now on modifieds, we have Panhard bars for adjusting the rear of the car. And we'll measure to the center line of that 5/8 or 3/4 inch bolt that's going through the Heim joint. So we make this little bracket here that it'll slip right over the head of the bolt. With the level, you can make it perfectly level. And if you're on the left side of the car, you can take your left rear sensor, clip it right on that little metal plate, and now it's measuring directly to the center line of that bolt as accurately as you possibly could. And anybody that knows that's tried to get underneath the car or sneak under the deck lid with a tape measure, and it's always dark and you're twisted and it's almost impossible to get to. So with this, you clip this on, you set the level and use your existing sensors, and you're off and running, as accurate as you could be. We make a lot of these brackets for any heads of any bolts, even suspension components. People have us make these brackets, and they'll clip them over the head of specific bolts so they can get certain distances and really, really tweak their setup. So our ride height, it all comes in a kit. You could buy it with a tablet or without. Comes in this nice case, so you could take it, throw it right in your pit box. You don't have to worry about it. Take it on the road with you. Now, another new thing that we that we released at PRI this year, along with our load sticks, are our scales. So what I did, like we do with all of our products, is we try to think about them wisely and how to make them the absolute best for the racer. Since we're racers ourselves, this comes naturally to us, and we know how to do these things. So what we did is, when we developed our scales, we wanted to absolutely make sure that we crossed off all the boxes that every racer always wished that they had in scales. I mean, from the most accurate, the most repeatable, least amount of corner tip. Now that we have our ride height sensors and they are as accurate as they are, people are now realizing that, when you're on a single load cell scale, and if you're not on the exact same spot of that scale pad every single time, it's deflecting, and your ride height is sometimes 2 or 3 feet away from that scale pad. So any little bit of movement that you're doing on the scale pad, multiply that by the 2 or 3 feet. And now all of a sudden, you could be off a 32nd of an inch. And with our products being so accurate and so repeatable, we can see that. And teams that are really paying attention to things, and they're setting their cars up and really, stacking pennies, this stuff all makes a difference. And we make it so you can do it as easily and as quickly as you can. So with our scale pads, we did something that's never been done. This is all patent pending. Our top plate of our scale pad, first of all, this is a dual load cell. We have 2 load cells in this scale pad to distribute that weight and get rid of that corner tip. Another thing that we've done is our top plate is not a solid top plate. We actually have a little split down the center of our logo there. In each of these 4 scales, you'll see that split is running vertically on the screen. So we're separating those load cells from each other. They don't want to be tied down to each other. And I won't geek out too much, because I know I do get into too much engineering, and I geek out sometimes. But load cells, these load cells that are in all these racing scales, the way they work is by deflecting. So they have to deflect a little bit. It's not much, but they do have to deflect in order for us to get readings and know what the weight is. So if you have 2 of these things tied to one solid plate, they're not free to move the way they want to move independently of each other. They're tied to each other. So what we did is we split these, made them separate from each other. And then we went a step further, changed the orientation so that when one is deflecting in one direction, the other is deflecting in another. They balance each other out with the rubber of the tire. And next thing you know, we have a lot of real neat trick engineering in here that gives you, the best scale on the market. So that's why we look a little bit different than anybody else. To take that one step further, because we do have the independent top plates, the load cells are independent from each other. We have something that we call independent weighing technology, where if you put a tire on this scale pad, yeah, I can give you the total weight that's on that scale pad, but I can also give you the weight that is on the inside load cell, and I can give you the portion of weight that's on the outside load cell, right? So now you can start looking at things a little smarter, easier, a little more educated. Now you can look at your amount of tire patch. You can look at the camber that's in the race car. If people are using these during pull down, you can pull down and now you can see, hey, did I reach ultimate tire patch with the camber that I was running at that track? So that's something that we do. Now we independently calibrate each of these load cells. You can put a load on just one of them, not the other. They hold incredible accuracy. When I'm calibrating right now, we're seeing our scales are really holding right around 3 or 4 tenths of a pound. And that's why our app, it allows you to change this to decimal mode and read in tenths of a pound. We are accurate enough with our electronics and our calibration and everything that we can read accurately to the tenth of a pound. So this is all brand new stuff that we just released. This is our dual load cell. We do take it one step further for those teams that are on that, that elite level. We make a 3 load cell independent split top. So now with that, you get 3 independent weights across your tire patch. So now you can see how much weight is on the inside of the tire, the center of the tire, and the outside of the tire. You'll get these 3 measurements for each corner, and you'll get the total scale pad weight. So now if you incorporate that with pull down, it's amazing what you can now do that you can no longer do just by having a set of our scales. And again, our scales work in our Hooked Up app. All of our products do. If you were just to buy our ride height kit, our wireless ride height sensors, and then you want to add scales at a later time, or you want to add load sticks at a later time, each of our products, you just go right into the menu of the app, you hit pair, it pairs our product in, boom, they're all live. It's that easy. So these are our new scales. Here I'm showing them inside of our roll-offs with our slip plates on top. So that's what this photo is. We make all of our own roll-offs. They're incredibly flat, no deflection whatsoever. We're going to have our own pull down that'll work in conjunction with these roll-offs, and live on track that's also going to use our ride height sensors. So stay tuned for that. That's very exciting. Again, there's just another shot of our dual load cell, independent load cell split top scales. Then another thing that's really cool that we get into for guys is we have our setup racks. This is becoming a lot more popular now that people know that we make these. This one here that I'm showing on the screen, this is our standard adjustable. This is the track width and wheelbase is all adjustable on this rack. We have 2 different versions that you can purchase. And if your track width and wheelbase falls into those windows, then you order one of these versions. We make custom of these platforms all the time. People will ask us to add fixturing to it for body panels for measuring other things. We can add special custom make anything on these. Another thing that recently took off, believe it or not, is that we make a custom one for legend cars. So we made the track width, the wheelbase, everything custom just for legends. And those guys have absolutely been loving it, the way they can now set their car up on it. Here we show a modified. Our loves are our modifieds. You know, Dad used to own the 50 car way back in a previous lifetime. So we love these cars. So I'm just showing again, here's our scaling rack and how low profile it is and how easy it is to put it into your shop. A few more pictures here of just showing that. Then we make a few things just to make life easier for the racers. Some guys that have room in their shop and they have a dedicated setup area, we make this cart right here. Your 4 scale pads go right in the bottom of it. You hang your roll-offs on it. Then we hang our ride height system, load sticks, everything on it. And then you could just wheel this around the car, unload everything one corner at a time. For the rest of us guys, I don't have a big enough shop for any of that kind of stuff. That's not our wall rack. Sorry. We have a wall rack that also hangs the roll-offs on the wall in the shop or in the trailer. And then this is a view of our scaling rack system. We actually made it portable for guys that want to bring it to the track and they can, set up in the garage areas. So there's a lot of road course racers, they'll get garage areas or they'll set up these setup pads and setup areas right outside of their trailers for their race weekends. So what we did is we made it very easy to assemble. They can level and assemble this thing in 5 minutes. We put it on this cart. It takes up no space in the trailer. They just wheel it right in their trailer, unload. They have a full-blown setup scaling area right at the track. So that's some of our things. I just wanted to touch base quickly with that. Some of our latest products and everything for those of you, that aren't familiar with our stuff. And now if I get back to not sharing the screen, I'll get back to you guys.
Awesome. What a great way to kick this off, by the way, in featuring the products. And that is really, really cool. And we're going to talk about some of those in more detail. I want to encourage folks, again, if you have a question, feel free to type it into the chat. But, Brett, from a kid who was running around his dad's shop and, trying to build things and stay out of the way and doing all of that, to creative racing products now and the innovation that you just featured for us. Let's talk about how it all gets started. What problem were you guys trying to actually solve first, and how did that lead to the development of creative racing products?
Yep. So that's a great question. I remember it clear as could be. So, to go back real quick. So yeah, Dad, he had a company where it was a product development company. So he invented new products. He was always into racing. I grew up in the shop. Next thing you know, he said, "Hey, Brett, let's get back into racing. Let's have a modified." So that's when we built the 50 car. So now we have the 50 car in our engineering shop, right? And we're doing our day job, doing our engineering, and we're working on the race car at night. And of course, every time, Dad goes to work on the car, and he's obviously getting older, right? Been working on cars since he was younger. So every time he's working on the car, it's, "Oh, Brett, can you help me with this? Oh, help me with this. Brett, there's a better way. I know we could do this better. Oh, if we ever just made our own products." So we would always sit and we'd work on our own car, right? And then we'd always have these conversations and we'd like kind of dream, right? This fairy tale land, like, hey, one day instead of inventing products for other people, and in the paper handling industry, that's where we were very well known. I think Dad, he's got to have 29 or 30 patents, and probably 20 of them in the paper handling industry. But anyway, he goes, "Hey, one day, wouldn't it be fun if we just invented products for racing? Because we love racing," right? So we always had that dream. I had young kids. We had the company. So then next thing you know, as we have our car, it's, "Hey, Brett, we can make it a lot easier to do ride height." He's like, "And ride height is so hard to get that guys are taking shortcuts around it. And it's so important that, if they were measuring it properly, they'd really learn a lot about their car. They'd be setting it up a lot better." So that's really how it happened. And it happened with ride height and my knees already hurt, right? It already stinks getting on that cold concrete floor and crawling under the car, especially when you do it all the time. So that was Dad's biggest thing, right? He'd go to crawl under the car and grab the Nerf bar and, oh, Brett, oh, this sucks. So he goes, hey, do you think you could make like a wireless thing that could accurately measure? And most importantly, we're not going to forget the roots of where we came from. Yeah, you can do anything in the world with time and money, right? But what we always prided ourselves on was being able to do everything ourselves and to do it to perfection without spending a ton of money. So he said, you know what? Imagine we could bring the racing industry all this technology and we could do it for a very good, fair price because we know how to invent products, right? We know how to invent them for production, for mass development. We know how to do all these things. It's how I grew up. It's what I learned without even knowing I was learning it. I was just a kid in dad's shop. So we became great at doing these things. So life goes on. My kids get older. Dad and I start to get our dream. And it's, hey, man, hey, Brett, let's start doing that ride height deal. And, so we start looking at things and, hey, yeah, we could do it. We could do it with lasers. Oh, lasers right now are $2,500 each. That's $10,000 just in lasers before we even get started. We can't ask people to pay that. So it's okay. Well, we reach a roadblock like we always did in engineering. Nothing's going to stop us. Doesn't matter if it doesn't exist. We're going to create it. We're going to make it work. I move around every roadblock. I search and see what technology is out there that I can use that'll solve my problem. I go ahead. I find this technology. I figure out how to make it accurate, which we end up patenting that. And along the way, we find things. We were a little bit ahead of our time. Believe it or not, we wanted to do this all wireless with Bluetooth. Bluetooth was having a lot of problems. So the first thing, believe it or not, we had this idea. We're mechanical guys. I know what I want to do. First roadblock I reach, Bluetooth. Oh, Brett, you want this wireless and you want it to be able to be used in steel buildings and here and there, and you want it to just work. Yes, I do. Right. So guess what? They didn't have a Bluetooth that even existed that did what I wanted to do. So in true Barker fashion, like Dad always told me, right? Nothing's going to stop you. You just figure a workaround, get smart. We can do anything. It doesn't matter if it wasn't done before, we can do it. So I start talking to people. I start getting educated. I start teaching myself, literally studying 12 hours a day, like I'm back in school, learning Bluetooth. I find the proper engineers and we wrote our own Bluetooth protocol. That's how I had to start this. And when we were writing that Bluetooth protocol, I already knew in my mind, I had this vision for this entire product line. And I was like, hey, if I'm going to invent my own Bluetooth protocol and we're going to do this, we're going to create the best foundation we can possibly create so that I have zero limits, right? So that in the future, hey, I want to add scales. Okay, add them. I want to add load sticks. Add them. I want to add something I don't even know exists yet, right? That's what I learned from Dad engineering. You can try to account for every single situation, right? But the best engineer is one that accounts for situations you don't even know are going to exist yet and try to be prepared for them. That's how we design all of our things. So it really started with, hey, let's figure out an easy way to do ride height. Bluetooth doesn't exist. Make my own Bluetooth. I got to make a great foundation. I have to do this. And it really all literally started from, it was a pain in the butt for Dad to get under the car and measure the ride height. And that was our first one.
I love this. Look, as someone who, like probably all of us, have made a tool, welded something together, something along the way just to make whatever I was doing easier. You didn't take it to the next level. Like you took it to another universe. I mean, it really is incredible to say, hey, this is a problem we want to solve, but the engineering and the philosophy behind that, it really is pretty incredible, Brett.
Yeah, so I attribute that to my OCD, Dad's OCD, being raised in a machine shop with a perfectionist, right? With this is how you do it, right? That old school guy. Dad's born in the 50s, right? And he is amazing at everything he does. So I automatically had to be raised under this perfectionist. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. And everything we did for our company, it was always our last name, Barker. Our name's on it. So when we're making products, even for big companies like Pitney Bowes and others, it was Dad and I and everybody with our hands making these things, right? So it's our pride is that's how I learned from a very young age. Everything that we do, it's why bother doing it if you're just going to be as good as everybody else? Like, what's the point in that? If you're going to do something, absolutely do it the best. Do it then better than everybody else. If not, I don't really see the point in it, right? I don't want to be a me too. I don't want to be just as good. So that's how I was raised. And with that philosophy and that OCD, um, we really do. We design and engineer things way beyond what they need to be so that when they're operating, they're in a comfort zone. And our products, they're only operating at like 20%. I've got another 80% I could release. You know what I mean? We design everything with that extra buffer. And that just comes from the family business, the old school, the pride, we don't hide behind. We make everything here. It's all us. And if it's not right, that's on me. And I sleep really good at night because I work really hard. We try really hard and we really do make the best products. And we're racers ourselves. So we know what the racers need and we know how they use our products. So we use them ourselves before we even, let anybody else use them. And we go by that real world, use our stuff with our own hands. No, this doesn't work. We like that. Um, just because we have an idea for a product and we make it, I'll tell you right now, that first prototype, it does not look like the final production unit that our customer's using. Why? Because as we're using it, well, you can make this better. You can make that better. Oh, I know I can make this better. Oh, hey, while I'm using it, I can't reach in here. If I made that, oh, that would be even easier with this. Like we use it. You know what I mean? I want it to be easy. I want it to be user friendly because we're so busy as racers and we have so many things that we have to think about. People don't understand that race car. Oh, I don't know. It's a list of 5,000 variables. And as soon as one changes, now you got 5,000 new ones. And trying to keep track of it, it's such a hard job that if I could make setup easy, where guys just stick things to their car wirelessly, they look at a screen, they make an adjustment, and they go, oh my God, that's what it does. That's what we wanted to do.
That's awesome. I want to bring Charles into the conversation as well. Charles Lewandoski from ChaLew Performance Products, and it is great to have you here. Want to talk about your valuable perspective as well, because you are on the front lines helping racers choose the right product. So, for those who might not know your background, can you share your racing and performance experience and how that led to what you do now with ChaLew Performance Products?
Sure. I'm from Connecticut as well, as Brett and Don are, and so normal deal. I raced all my life, quarter midgets up there, and then ran. I'm right from Stafford, so I raced Stafford Motor Speedway, which is obviously a well-known short track. And then moved south when I was running with the Busch North Series, which is now ARCA East, and was lucky enough to get some opportunities to race in the Xfinity O'Reilly and Truck Series for smaller and mid-sized teams, and was pretty hands-on. With the Busch North cars and the late models and everything I drove, it was always family owned. So we were, I was hands-on out of necessity, and mom and dad would own the car, and they, that's how we raced. So when I got to my early 30s, my opportunities for the driving stuff started to go away. Just the way the industry goes, and we were trying to do something on our own again, and it just didn't work out. So I had some equipment and some assets to sell, and ChaLew was a nickname of mine. We had the website, we had a logo through the driving stuff. So we created ChaLew Performance because really surprisingly, there was a big gap in the market for another source for race parts. So we're down here in Mooresville. We ship all over the world. Obviously, the U.S. market's our strongest. And what separates us, very similar to the creative products, is we are very premium brand oriented. So if you come buy from us, It's a proven product, a well-known product, and we like to think we have very good sources within the manufacturer contacts to get questions answered from engineers like Brett, and that's why it's a perfect marriage between both companies.
Yeah, so I love the experience back behind it, and the real life experience. And you guys are the
Yes,
official distributor of Creative Racing Products. So when a racer or team comes to you, and Brett did an amazing job talking about how you can literally start taking these products and stacking them on top of each other to
absolutely.
help. But how do you help them figure out exactly what they need and what's right for their program? Because, like we said, this covers everything from
It
road
does.
racing to dirt to asphalt to drag racing. So what do you
Yeah,
say?
when they come in, obviously we have a great relationship with most of our customers. Um, Really, a funny story is when a mutual friend of ours, Mike Slattery, introduced us because I knew of Don's Modified, but I was running Bush North when they were Modified Tour, and we'd race together, but we were never in the same garage per se. We were across from one another, whatever. So I saw the ride height tool, and I certainly knew that there was a need for it, but I looked at it and said, okay, it's either going to be too complicated or too expensive because we get approached all the time, for new products. And they gave me a demo, and I said, okay, so now it's pretty straightforward. And then they provided pricing, and it wasn't super expensive. I know we approached to, I know one cup team in specific, we went to present it to them. This was several years ago. I don't know what year it was, Brett, but when obviously early on in the company, creative company,
Mhm.
and they said, absolutely, we need it. The problem is we just spent $25,000 more for the same thing, and we're all going to lose our jobs if we present this to the management. So it's been it's when those teams come in, obviously you figure out what they're doing, where they're going with it, and what their goals are, and then give them options. Creative, like I said, has options, with the different scale systems now. And every time I talk to Brett or see Brett or get an email from them, it's something to again add on to their already growing product list. So that's what's good about us. We have a lot of our people in house here, or people that go to the shops in North Carolina certainly have the knowledge to connect all the dots and present them with their best option.
What's the best way to get started? You said you're in Mooresville, but for
Yes.
shipping, you can take it anywhere.
So yes. So we have a. Are you asking about our location and everything? Is that what you're?
Yeah, like if I wanted to get started, so what's the best way to
Oh,
order?
sure.
What's the best way to get in
Sure.
touch with you?
So we have a storefront and in Mooresville on Performance Road. There's 3 or 4 parks down here, as you probably know, with all the race teams. We're in one of those. So obviously, feel free to stop in. We're in the same park as like Hampkey and Port City Late Models, and a bunch of race teams in here. So feel free to come visit us at any time. And then ChaLew.com, ChaLew.com. We are in a process of upgrading our website for there's purchasing options and making more of an e-commerce location. So obviously that's a big tackle. Big project, so we're in the process of that. So feel free to go on there. Shows you what else we offer, but also obviously orders at ChaLew.com goes to every salesperson we have, so we can answer questions and obviously give us a call direct to place an order. We ship every day, again, worldwide.
That's awesome. I do want to get a couple questions in from the chat here, and Brett, this might apply to you, especially with your engineering. It says, how significant is the effect on ride height if the load cells deform at 500 kilogram wheel load?
At a 500 kilogram wheel load, I could calculate all of that. I can't do it right now on the fly. It'll take me about 10 or 15 minutes. But first thing is 500 kilograms is going to be 1,400, somewhere around 1,200 pounds. I believe that we were deflecting 30. So that's going to be the load cell itself inside the scale pad. The load cell is going to be right around 31 thousandths of an inch, 0.030, right around 30 thou.
That's impressive, by the way.
Yeah, just shy. because so I know that only because we test our stuff to every single limit, and I test our stuff till it breaks, till it stretches. So I know all these things in my head, and I know I just did a deflection test on a load cell I got made from our manufacturer, and it's going to be right around just shy of 30 thousandths of an inch with that load.
That's impressive. This is I'm not as good at math, so this is why
I'm glad you directed that to Brett.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, no problem. I don't mind. And hey, I could even do it with a piece of paper right now and show you the longhand. It'll just take 5 minutes to get the exact.
We believe you. We believe you.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so Charles, you're gonna love this. This comes from Timothy Hillard, who maybe I'm assuming you might know. Said Brett sold us on the technology. We may have some customers interested in these scales and ride height sensors. And then he says, friends and family discount, LOL. But,
of course.
Hey, if we're here putting in these in the race shops, garages, and at the racetracks, and a lot of people, that's great. Another question here, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, Brett. Will your products work with Formula Drift cars?
Yeah. Actually, this is something that's really cool. My oldest son, Dylan, he actually runs our CNC machine shop. I forget how many years ago it was, but I didn't even know about Formula Drift, right? And next thing you know, Dylan really gets into it and starts, showing me everything on TV. And he starts following Adam LZ, who was from Connecticut, and he starts all the YouTube stuff. So next thing you know, he starts saying this drift stuff. And, in the beginning, I'm old school, right? So I'm like, Dylan, what do you mean? Is it racing? I was like, what do we do? Let's get into modified and go circle track racing. He's like, no, Daddy, it's this drift racing. So anyway, we started getting into it, and it is the coolest form of race. Like, I love it. We even got Dad into it. And
it's a whole nother world. It's a whole nother world.
And it's so much fun. And yeah, so RTR, right? One of the biggest Formula Drift teams out there. They just won the 5th championship, right? The most.
They're here with us down here. I think they're in Concord here, I think.
Yeah, I think they got like Schrader's old shop or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's where
so anyway, they use all of our stuff. Mm-hmm. And then their guys ended up bringing what I think the story was, because of our setup equipment, they were able to set up their cars quicker than they normally could. They were able to bring 5 cars to one track and run 5 cars at an event. So yeah, now we're friends with those guys. We text and talk all the time. And yeah, we're into drift racing, which is super cool because my kids love it. So yeah, we're into, man, there's legend cars in like Greenland or Iceland or something. They put studs in the tires. They're running our ride height stuff, drift cars. It's amazing how many customers will call me all the time. And I'll say, well, what are you going to use it on? And they'll tell me, and I go, holy cow, that's a first. I got to write that on the list. Like it's endless, really. It's pretty cool. It's really cool.
Charles, how great is it that you spent like a life racing trying to put the power down and move forward? And now we have a wildly entertaining racing series. That the whole idea is how best can we slide and how accurate. So
absolutely, it is exciting stuff. We have a few customers ourselves, of course, that are involved in that, and like I said, it's a whole nother world. But it's wild, absolutely wild.
Yeah, Brett, I have to say one of the things I really love about this, and as you're presenting it to us, is you can start here, you can get it all at once if you want. But you can start here, you can add here, you can add here. And like you said, you're at 20% of capacity of whatever other 80% of ideas that might come up. To me, that part is invaluable because it allows me to get in in a good way. But then as I keep going, I can keep going.
Yep. And that is exactly right. So with our stuff, I'm going to try our hardest. I believe PRI this year will release our spring smasher as well, because now that we have load sticks, and the load sticks are all integrated with the app. Now, obviously, the next progression is to make the spring smasher, which, we'll make the smallest, the lightest, because we go to the tracks and we race, we realize everybody's taking their hand trucks and they're ratcheting down their spring smashers on the hand truck, putting it in their trailers, and they're using them at the track. So, we're developing ours so that, it'll be portable, it'll be light, fully automated, work in our app seamlessly with the rest of our stuff. So yeah, that'll be one of the next things to see. And then, yeah, with our stuff, you can easily just start with one of our products. And as you buy another one, you just go right into the app, you add it, it pairs, and it works with it forever. If you do already know that you want everything at one time, we try to make it even easier for people because we offer packages. And we say, hey, if you're going to buy all those things at once, right? Maybe it's 4 things, roll-offs, scales, ride height sensors, and load sticks. Say, hey, if you're going to buy all those 4 things at once right off the bat and spend that much money, then we made a package where we give you, a bunch of money off for wanting to make that investment with us. So yeah, if you want to buy it all at once, we give you a heck of a deal. You could get one of the packages. But if you're like me and you know what I mean, you're racing with your kids and you really don't have much money, then hey, as you get money, you can buy one thing and just add the next, and add the next. And before you know it, you have every single thing you need and it all works together with no wires in your way or anything.
I love that. And this is even great because people in the chat are talking about, I need to get this now. So Ed asked, Charles, are the packages available from ChaLew today?
Yes, we do have some inventory on the shelf. We definitely are stocking as much as we can. I know Brett and my team have been going back and forth on getting shipments out as our products continue to develop. Our inventory keeps growing. So yes, we have stuff coming in on a regular basis. A lot of it's going out, but we will be stocking everything here. If we do not have it, it's on the way, I would say. Correct, Brett?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I wanted to touch base on that. I'll let everybody know right now. I know that our chassis height measuring systems, yes, I have plenty of stock in those. Our load sticks, we have really good stock and we're building them every single day. I will tell everybody, though, unfortunately, we're doing our best. We're literally working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Our scales, they are so popular. We have such a demand on scales that those may take a little bit. And I mean, just a couple of days. I'm trying to keep our stock, but those are going so fast that I think they're going almost as fast as I can build them. So if there's any delay at all, I would say it would be a couple day delay and maybe on scales. Everything else we're really stocked up with. I need to buy more equipment so I can make more scales.
I love that.
Good problem to have.
Yeah, right. And it's a great problem to have from manufacturer and from distributor.
Yeah.
And for everyone.
But yeah, so Charles, we're cranking right now. We just got a ton of aluminum and everything. I'm all stocked up on everything. CNC's been singing. So yeah, if you end up needing more scales and whatnot, I can react very quickly because we're making.
Yeah, we like to. We have a warehouse here. It's about 10,000 square feet and growing. But we like to warehouse stuff here for when you place an order, we ship it same day. Or if you're coming to race down here in Charlotte, you come visit us, we can load it up for you. So, but yes, we are working very closely with Creative, Brett and his team to make sure we have what we need as a demand is growing by the minute here.
This reminds me of I read Lee Iacocca's book like way back when in high school, and he was talking about when the Mustang came out in the mid 60s. It was so popular that he went to a breakfast restaurant one day and the sign out front says, "Our hotcakes are selling like Mustangs." So I think that's what's going on with your scales, Brett and Charles, which is fantastic.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, good. Well, hey, look, I love the enthusiasm, love the engineering, love the enthusiasm for the engineering and everything else. This was so much fun and really look forward to doing it again, gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have to do it because, like I said, I'm not stopping, right? I love this stuff and I have way too many good ideas and going right to my, when I make those ride height sensors go live on track, I'm telling you, that's going to be something else. And I've already proved that I can do it. Now it's just, turning the crank and doing the hours of the engineering to be able to release it. But man, when we do that live on track and then couple it with our pull down in that spring smasher, it's going to be really cool. I'm geeking out. I'm very excited. I wish I could almost have 10 more of me and fast forward to the future just so that people could use this stuff. It's going to be really cool.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Judy, Andrea?
Thank you. And thanks, Brett and Charles. And Charles, I've been to your shop pretty much when we launched this B2B racing platform.
Yes.
It was amazing then. I can't imagine how it looks now. So I'm going to pop in on you again back in North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Please log on to the platform, see Creative Racing's complete product line sitting right there. Next week, we're going to be visiting with MPD, and this platform is live 365 days a year. So enjoy it, connect to suppliers, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Hey, we want to thank you for watching. Now, be sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell so you're always up to date with the latest racing technology, industry insights, and exclusive content from EPARTRADE. In racing, every second counts. This is EPARTRADE, the premier business-to-business platform for the performance and racing industry. We connect buyers and suppliers 24/7 worldwide. Racing never stops, neither do we. Discover cutting-edge products and services from around the globe, gaining insights from our live platform, daily newsletters, weekly webinar series, and our highly anticipated annual Race Industry Week. EPARTRADE.com. The racing industry, every minute, every day.
ARP, the ultimate fasteners for whatever you build. To get the best performance, always follow ARP's installation instructions included with the product. For the latest torque specs, go to ARPinstructions.com.
You work as hard as your truck, and you have no time for downtime. That's why more truck owners trust Blue Def, America's #1 diesel exhaust fluid brand. Each batch is guaranteed pure, so you can avoid costly repairs caused by inferior DEF. Demand America's best for your truck. Blue Def and Blue Def Platinum. Put trust in your truck.
With roots in the Midwest that date back well before the Model T, Fifth Third Bank has a long history of serving the needs of automotive companies. While much has changed over the years, our passion for helping businesses put cars on the road and on the track has not. Today, we are more committed than ever as a member of SEMA, a founding member of PRI, and a sponsor of multiple race teams across several racing series. Where can we take your business? Fifth Third Bank.
Where will you find Farea Racing Components, Circle Track, drag racing, and any top race shop? In every form of motorsports competition, our valves and valve train components deliver race-proven design and technology, and we've brought that same performance to our street applications as well. We're backed by 5 decades of experience, an extensive range of off-the-shelf components, and our custom valve department has the fastest turnaround times in the industry. Farea Racing Components. Stand with us or race against us.
When it comes to pushing the limits of performance, the pros know there's no room for compromise. At Crower Cams, we don't just engineer camshafts and valve train components, we redefine what power means. Since 1955, Crower Cams has been the name trusted by racers, engine builders, and gearheads around the globe. Whether you're building a street machine, a dragster, or a track car, Crower Cams provides the muscle you need to dominate. And with Crower, victory is within your reach.
Not all trailer cabinets are built for the long road ahead. Aluminum Econo trailer cabinets from C-Tech Manufacturing are engineered to last and ready to ship today. Each Econo cabinet is packed with exclusive features like motion latch drawers and gasket lock countertops, all made under one roof in our Wisconsin headquarters. Shop Econo online today.